Hello guys, it's me, Emerson. Welcome back to the channel. And for those of you who don't know, this channel has mostly been about handstand, but I'd like to talk also more about deeper topics. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is The Way Within, with Connor, I think Ronayne is his last name, Connor Ronayne, The Way Within. And he hasn't been active recently, but his channel has really inspired me a lot over the years, and I used to download his videos, turn them into just audio sound files and listen to them. And a few of his talks, he talks about, bigger topics, spiritual ideas and ideas from books, and he connects the dots between these topics. And one of his videos was I've listened to one of his videos so many times I cannot even begin to count, so check his channel out, it's really great. So with that, I wanted to start with that, and I've been reading a book lately, and I thought maybe I could try making a video like him. So I'm going to just speak some thoughts around the title of this video. And the title is Connecting to Source. The reason I say that is because I'm reading a book and it's called The Power of Intention. And in my opinion, the power of intention it's another word for source. So this whole book is, the idea is, the book is about connecting to source, connecting to this higher power, and raising your frequency. And it ties in with the books from David Hawkins, and like Letting Go, which has been one of my favorite books. And I thought we could try talking about these topics a little bit, and I can also read to you some excerpts from the book. So he talks about the 7 phases of the power of intention, and it's kind of splitting up, this infinite principle of source, and this power of source, or of God, or of the universe, or the power of intention. It's the same thing, but one of the first chapters is about the 7 phases of the power of intention. So he's splitting this up into kind of 7 words that you can focus on and think about, and look at these words, and to help you to focus on and get into this connection with everything, and with creative power and all of that. So the words are, if I remember correctly, creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, unlimited abundance, and receptivity. So let's just go through them. Let's try talking about them. So creativity, when I think of that in a small sense, it's like some small aspect of me, but I think we can look at creativity like can also look at it as the creative principle behind all things. So it's like, for all of time and for all of the future, things are created out of nothing, out of this source power, like that is this field that is everywhere in the universe. Like mountains become mountains out of nothing, and we have dreams, we receive dreams, and they become also real. And trees grow, you exist, you breathe, and you digest food. There is a power that is creating and sustaining and expanding life, and this is a creative power, and it's also connected to love, because I believe that is a loving power. And you can apply, if we take this first word, creativity, you can focus on being creative in your own life. So you can focus on creativity, and it will quickly bring you higher and into this higher frequencies. And it's like focusing on all these words and just keeping them in mind will help raise your frequency, and you can enjoy all the joy that comes from that. And I have to share, or I can share it right away. It was super interesting. It's a little bit further into the book, but he was speaking, I don't remember the exact numbers, but one person that is just being at that little bit higher frequency, not like being a Buddha or a Jesus or anything like that, but just positive and connected to source, or to the power of intention, to this, connected to these things like kindness, love, beauty, and receptivity. If you are in tune with those frequencies and living that way, your frequency is balancing out the negativity of 90,000 people or something like that. And it's just an idea, don't take it, but think about it. It's just an interesting thing to think about. And you don't necessarily have to do anything or try to change anyone or anything, but just by focusing on and being at the frequency, focusing on that, you help balance out or counter the negativity of many people around the world. And he writes about this a little bit further into the book, and I thought it was interesting. And that also, I think, comes from David Hawkins, from his books like Power versus Force, which I haven't read. I have only read Letting Go. I'll have to read Power versus Force. But yeah, just starting my day reading this stuff, it's really powerful, guys. I think how I will apply this is I will try to just continue in this direction, to focus on my frequency rather than focusing on goals. Just by effect, then the goals will happen, but they won't even be your focus. So I didn't plan on lately I was making so much short videos, and I was going out doing things, and I didn't plan on doing any of them. I didn't make a list that I would make this and this. I was just reading the book, and I was in the frequency, and I was more in the frequency of creativity and openness, receptivity, receptivity, or can I say that? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Being receptive, so you're receptive to ideas, you're receptive to to inspirations from this bigger field, that's just coming through you. So I was tapping a little bit more into that, and things just start to happen, and that's very interesting. And you probably felt it in your own life. Maybe at times you feel it more, and maybe you get, like, if you're like me, then you can get stuck sometimes, because whether it's like feeling that you have to become something or force something to happen, or that you're not good enough unless you can get, you know, to this and this place, or this, whatever it means for you, you can get stuck, you know, and your frequency gets lower, and you don't feel as good. And it's the more conscious you are, it just hurts more, because you're aware that something's wrong, but sometimes it feels hopeless to change it. But you're aware of it at the same time, and it can be a bad feeling, but it's not that hard to change, I think. I think the key is to take a step back and disengage from yourself being important. So disengage a bit from your, like, that it's so serious, your life and your plans, and disengage from this negativity around you that you can easily control. Like, sometimes social media can be very negative, and all these voices, if you're in a bit of a lower place, it can be very draining on your energy. So we can control that. We can take a step back, we can go off that stuff for a while, and we can instead sit down, read a book like this, and it will help you to come back to the things that matter much more, and you will start to create a space between your old, like, frequency, negative one that you were a bit stuck in for a while, and just that space, and then from there it's easier to move up to higher levels of being. So that's my idea. Let's just look at some of the highlights that I took. If you'll give me a second here. I'm reading on a Kindle. I bought it from China, like secondhand in the mail, because I lost my old Kindle, and it's been great. I love having a Kindle. Just my books on it. I put it on airplane mode, and it's very convenient. So I'm happy about it. Well, this is a bit slow to go through on this device, but here's one highlight. Your sense of awe at all of the miracles you see around you allows you to think, see, and live more of these miraculous occurrences. So this is connected to the word beauty, you know, that you see beauty everywhere, which is a habit, and it's about your frequency. And when you start to see beautiful things everywhere, and you are grateful for all these miracles and beauty that you see, and beauty also seeing in other people, it's very important. It lifts you, and it connects you to this power of intention. It connects you up to higher frequencies. And then you become more like that, and then you attract more of that into your life, and you see more beauty, and you become more someone that beauty can shine through just without trying, you know. Yeah, he talks about it's quite a serious book, but sometimes he has a bit of a sense of humor as well. I've always sensed that I'm really an infinite soul, disguised at various times as a husband, father, author, lecturer, and balding 6-foot American male. Okay, but yeah, this was a little harder than I thought to reach my notes from a little further back in the book. I don't know how to do that right now. Well, he you know, this book really connects the dots from a lot of it has a lot of beautiful quotes from other people, and he ties it all together, you know, like different, like I recognize some of the things he he mentions, and then a lot of them are new to me, but he's like putting out this argument in really nice way with support of all these quotes and poems and stuff. So I've been writing them down, like just a few of the ones that I liked. So I have them here. So this story was about his daughter. In his daughter's room, he had this framed, or in his children's room, so that they would see it early in the day, I thought it was really great. Good morning, this is God. I will be handling all of your problems today. I will not need your help, so have a miraculous day. I just thought that was so great. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this up. For now it's just on the table. He talks about putting up photographs and beautiful things and quotes and things like this in your living environment to help remind you and help connect you to this higher beautiful states and frequencies. And that makes sense. I haven't been doing that so much because I used to do that more before, but I don't know, I stopped. I was thinking I'm a minimalist, or I don't need, but it's just helpful. So I have a few I can maybe show you later. I have I'll show you later. I have some photos here and there, but not so many. And I think that's great because when we're out in nature, when we're out of the house, we are already we're much more closer connected to source and to beauty, to nature, to God. We're connected to that much more when we're outside, but we spend a lot of time inside. That's just how it is. So when we're inside, it's more important to have some reminders, like you can place it in the bathroom or just some room. When you pass the wall, you see some quote or something like that, and I'm gonna start doing that more. And it's he writes about that. Here's another highlight. It goes like this: trees bend low. Sorry, I'll start from the beginning. Trees bend low with ripened fruit. Clouds hang down with gentle rain. Noble men bow graciously. I don't know, that just made me think. It just stood out to me. It's profound. Here's what I was discussing before. By raising your own frequency of vibration only slightly to a place where you regularly practice kindness, love, and receptivity, and where you see beauty and the endless potential of good in others as well as yourself, you counterbalance 90,000 people somewhere on this planet who are living in the low energy levels of shame, anger, hatred, guilt, depression, and so on. So that's super interesting. And obviously there's tons more besides this. I'm really just touching the surface, I think, with this right now. And I wanted to share some more of the highlights with you, but it's a little bit hard to find them at the moment. So let's look at the rest of the words that we haven't looked at. So kindness and love. Kindness is for me, it always was natural, and it's I notice when I was reflecting on kindness, I noticed how it's always very beautiful and it comes back always to me instantly. So just in conversations, just holding that space when you're talking with someone, you try to hold this kindness, just extending an energy of kindness. It does so much, and people feel comfortable around you. They feel calm, and it's one of the phases of intention. And then love. How are we going to discuss? How can I discuss love? I just would say that when I go about my day in this higher states, higher frequencies, when I'm able to do that, it feels a lot like love. And it's like all this, I feel love from everywhere. Like if I'm making something, if I'm being creative, it almost feels like love in that moment. Or it is. And just seeing seeing someone smile, even if it's a stranger, seeing just the beauty of someone, it feels like I can feel love in that observation. And yeah, when I milk the goats, they're very beautiful animals, and if I'm not getting in the way of myself with my own thoughts and thinking very small, thinking very about me, if I'm able to open as I'm doing the work, to be more open and relaxed, then I can access more of this appreciation of beauty. And appreciation of beauty also feels like love, I think. And then we haven't talked about expansion and abundance. It's kind of one of the same. And when I read it for the first time, it's a little bit of a trigger word for me, because I feel that I lost touch with abundance, and that this idea of abundance, like, for some reason doesn't apply to me, or I adopted that perspective. But I'm gonna work on that, and I'm working on it already to change it to, because when you're in this higher energy vibrations and you're living that way, then it's very natural that it expands way beyond your scope of comprehension, way beyond your comprehension. It's unlimited. It's your words or your thought can reach people, and so you don't know how far it goes. And I've noticed that happen, and it's also like that on social media. When you create something, it's always the unexpected people, like someone who really appreciates what you made or something. And I've noticed that if you're looking for validation or looking to be appreciated, then you don't get it. But if you create just because it's natural for you, it's like the sun. If we ask the sun why it's shining for us, it will say it's just my nature, it's just shining. And we are the same. We can be loving and beautiful and kind and creative and be infinite in our nature, in our capabilities, potential, all of that in our higher states, which is kind of what our essence is, that much higher states, so we can access that. If that's who we are, then, which it is, then we simply radiate that outward without it being about getting something back or getting validation, or that someone, X amount of people, has to see it or enjoy it or like it. It doesn't matter. It's about this power, these things coming through you, and you are just a vessel. And they just come through you, and in that moment you're already fulfilled and you are happy, because you are just existing in a positive, enthusiastic state, and that's wonderful. So I think I'm gonna wrap up this video soon, but let's try like to relate this over to training. What I will do is I will take some notes, like for example these 7 words: creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, unlimited abundance, and receptivity. I'll take those words and I'll kind of have them as a title over my training plan or my overview of my training. And when I have that overview, it really changes what's important, or it's like details maybe become less important, or yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna look at this, try to look at my training from this higher perspective, and then I don't know how that will work, but I think it will become just even more flow based, and it's just more about being in the moment and letting the inspiration come through you. You know, you're not so rigid with what you're doing. That's just my hunch about that. But also it's sounds cliche to say, but you know that if you have a dream or dreams, you also have the power to achieve them, or they can become real, you know. And it's actually absolutely true, and it goes for training. And we, you know, for myself, you gather experience, you get some training years under your belt, and some areas you get mental blocks because you're stuck at one place for a while, and what's keeping you stuck there is actually the mental block. It's not the ultimate truth. Like, the ultimate truth is that you can do anything, and you can get very, very far in physical. Like, the body goes where the mind follows. And I didn't have to think about that. It was more that, like, whoa, I'm interested in this thing, and that's all. Like, everything else is second to. I like this thing. That's how handstand started for me. I like this. It's beautiful. It's God, or it's yeah, it's beautiful to me. It's amazing. I like it. I just will start doing it. I am doing it, and there is not more complicated thoughts after that. So I didn't have to say like the mind can do anything. No, it just was about interest, enthusiasm, and that creates, you know, a good state where you can train skills. You believe that they are possible, and you get better. And I still think in certain areas of my training I have that, and I am improving, and I do things that are really good. But then in other areas of my training I've created mental blocks because I've been stuck, you know. And yeah, it's gonna be, maybe it's time to try to release those blocks and try to come at it from a better place in some areas, and at the same time just detach from the goals of training, and that also helps. Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna leave it there. If you watched the whole video, I'm honored. Thank you so much, and I hope that I could help just stir your own thoughts, and you can start to think about these things. And yeah, have a great day wherever you are. All right, bye.